Good morning children. Today we are going to learn first chapter of biology, that is life processes. So when we tell life processes, what comes to your first to your brain or your mind? What do you think about it? Life processes, that means we are eating, digesting and excreting. No, it is not that simple. Our life processes, what do you do from starting of the morning and end of the day? That is not the life processes. The life processes which occur inside our body. So there are different processes which we don't know what's happening after eating the food, how it is getting digested and all. So today in this chapter we are going to learn about the different system, their structure, their function, their importance in our body for the perfect coordination for making us a healthy, leading a healthy life. Okay, now see, when we in earlier classes, like 6th class, you have learned well about big differentiation column was there in the 6th class textbook. Have you learned that? Definitely you might be, because first you have to know what is alive and what are not alive or dead ones. So the materialistic world having two kind of things. So what are they? They are living and non-living creatures. Or living and non-living things first we can say, not creatures. Okay. So in that, when we know the differences between a living and non-living thing, then only we can go for the life processes. Because these life processes occur only in the living things. Maybe it is a single organism, unicellular organism, or you can say it is a multicellular organism. Now coming to the living creatures, as we have to deal with the only living creatures. Fine. So what is a dog? If dog is barking, yes, or running, if cow is cutting or chewing the grass, okay, or a man shouting, or I am teaching you, that means I am alive, isn't it? Some movement is going on, some work is going on, or some function is that you can see. So then we can say they are alive. But if these are all the creatures sleeping, there is no movement, no sound at all, then you are going to declare them as a dead one? No, you can't do that, because you are observing they are breathing. Yes. So if they are sleeping also, we can differentiate them, or we can define them as living things only. Why? They are observing they are breathing. They may not be having any movement, no noise from them, still they are living. Now when coming to the plants, how you are going to define they are living? Because they are not moving, they are not shouting, they are not chewing. Yes, seeing the color, if the leaves are green, if the branches are green, then you are going to define they are living? No, again, actually it is not there like that. If they are, because the leaves are differently colored, sometimes plants itself is a different, bark is a brown, it is not green, so you are not going to declare them as a dead one. So color is not defining for the living as a plant, for the plants. Now, when coming to the living organisms, so what the living organisms having? In the earlier classes of the 9th, we learned about the structure of the cell. Yes or no? Structure of the cell, different organs of the cell, what they are doing, what are performing the different functions. So that means living organisms are well organized. They are having well organized structures inside them. So what is the well organized structures? What are they? We learn about the tissues, how the tissues are made up of, the cells are made up of different components. Then components of the functions lead ultimately to the proper functioning of the tissues, then proper functioning of the organs made up of tissues. You know the sequence, how it is, cells coming together forming the tissues. Okay. Then tissues coming together forming the organ. Now organs coming, correlating and coordinating to form a particular system. So what we are going to do? What we are going to learn? We are going to learn up the level of systems, not the level of cells. Okay. Now these living creatures having the organized structures. So these organized structures, because of the environmental changes, they are going on breaking down or making them to repair or replacing themselves sometimes, because the environmental condition doesn't make alive all the time, doesn't maintain their own as it is all the times. So this, that is what we say, that is all these are happening in the molecules. Molecules are always moving in the organized structure. Okay, when you are sitting in your class also, that means some molecules are going on moving and doing the functions. If you are sleeping also the work is going on, that doesn't stop. So movement of these molecules must be there for the maintenance of these structural functions. Okay, so now coming to the life processes. What is the life processes? So those are the processes which help for the maintaining their functions and structures of a living creature. Okay, these are all the life processes. What it making the creature to be alive. So this process has to be there functionally. Okay, now coming to the important life processes. What are the first main important life processes, which without that a creature or organized structure will not be going to survive. That is, the first is nutrition, respiration, and next is, that is, transportation and excretion. These are four major systems or four major processes which has to be there in the living creature or a living structure. So maintaining all these processes or maintaining the functional or replacement or worn out cells to be repaired, that requires energy. So energy doesn't be created inside the cells or inside the organized structure. So it has to be taken from the outside, which comes from the environment to maintain all these things. Okay, so maintain the functions, to maintain the structure, energy needed. So which is coming from the outside sources of, that is from the environment, what we call as a food. So taking food inside the structure, living structure, is called as nutrition. So that's the first part is the nutrition. What we learn, taking food from outside to get the energy to inside the body. If the body size has to grow, after the nutrition, that doesn't maintain your life or any creature's life, but it has to grow, replicate. So many other functions will be there. So for that, what we require here, it has to grow in its body size, means additional requirement for the food sources will be there. So most of the food sources on the earth will be carbon based. Maybe it is different kind of the carbon based products, but still when they broken down to give or release the energy, they form the uniform source of energy. Okay, fine. What is the uniform source of energy? You know that. We come to the later. So when the organisms are growing, it has to take the additional carbon compounds. Okay, it has to broken down, releases the energy, but there is a very complicated function or very complicated process. So what happens? When the food is taken in, it has to go to or through a number of chemical reactions. Mostly chemical reactions are oxidizing and reducing. Okay, these chemical reactions, what we call it oxidizing or whatever the chemical reactions, that again require oxygen. Again, oxygen is not there in our body or any creatures or any structural functional body. So that requires, again it has to be taken from out, from the environment. Again, the process of acquiring oxygen from outside to the inside for what? To break down the food sources, what we have taken as a food. So requirement of oxygen for breaking down of the food, what we have taken or what the organism has taken. So it is called a chemical reaction. Okay, it might be oxidizing, it might be reducing or any other. So the process is called as respiration. Okay, but here the oxygen requirement is needed. Now, when we come to the single cell, what do you know? Again 9th class, going to the 9th class? Yes. Single cell example is amoeba, paramecium. That all whole body having the organelles and the plasma membrane is just direct contact with the environment. So our cells, we are having trillions of the cells. So these billion or trillion cells are not exposed to the environment. So in the single cell organism, a diffusion is a simple process. take food in. But what happens to us? Or multicellular organism, they are having a highly complex body. Okay, fine. They are having highly complex body. As the complexity increases, then what happens? So there is a different specialized tissues for this. As we can't go for a single cell with the diffusion intake of food and the oxygen, then there is a specific tissues in the multicellular organisms for specific functions, like taking up of oxygen from a typical tissue, or we can say specialized tissue, and taking up the food also, like uptake of food, uptake of oxygen, but then the special tissues in the body. Okay, fine. Then these special tissues are not accommodated all together. They are having the specific places. But when this has to be taken, when these different places will be required, or different parts are there for the different special tissues for taking up food, taking up oxygen, and broken down into by the chemical processes releasing the energy. Now energy requirement is for all the parts of the body. So this tissue are not moving, isn't it? We have movement of the molecules, but tissue doesn't move. So there is an energy has to transfer one part to the all parts of the body. So again the requirement of the transportation needs. So what happens? The transportation system is developed in a high organism. There is a specific tissue which transfer oxygen, or which transfer the energy from one part to the other part, or we can say to all over the parts of the creature. Fine. Now next, after this chemical reactions, the broken down of the carbon sources, that is the energy resources, oxygen is used. Okay, what we call that process? We call this as a respiration. After the respiration or collaboration of the respiration and nutrition process, some byproducts will be developed or generated. After the energy is released, the byproducts has to be removed out or discarded out from the body because it is not useless. The byproducts may lead to the harm or harmness to the body, which are very harmful, or we can say they are toxic substances. No, because there is no use in our body. It has to be discarded out by again a special kind of tissue that is called excretory tissue. So in the multicellular organism, a specific tissue are performing the specific functions. So as the systems are developed, so on, all the processes like nutrition, respiration and transportation, excretion, these are the systems developed for our life to succeed and be healthy. Okay, thank you. Now we can just see a slide where we are just recollecting what we learned today. Yes. Okay, fine. We will do a quick revision. What are the life processes? The life processes which maintain body functions and which are necessary for survival are called life processes. All the processes which together keep the living organisms alive and perform tasks to maintain the body are called life processes. What are the examples? Nutrition, respiration, transpiration, excretion. These are the important life processes. Okay. Coming to the next, so we skipped one. So based on the nutrition, they are like nutrition can be, I told that most of the nutrition which is food from the outside of carbon based, that is carbohydrate, fat, proteins, water, minerals, etc. So modes of nutrition will be different depending upon if it is autotrophic mode of nutrition and the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Auto means self. Trophic means nutrition. If the nutrition is done by cell, that is called the process in which organism produces their food from simple inorganic material. That is, example is water, carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight, or sometimes it requires chlorophyll must to attract the sunlight. These are all that happens in the plants. So mostly in nature, some protozoans also having the same thing. That is the chlorophyll is present and it can go for photosynthesis. So that they can go for autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now coming to the heterotrophic nutrition, in these organisms, they depend on others or outside products. So they can't prepare their own food because they are not having this what are called, they can't be going to transfer inorganic substances into organic substances. So they know they require here, that is the substances which are ready food. They can digest ready food because they can't prepare the food. Now these are all called heterotrophic nutrition. Examples human beings, amoeba, etc. Fine. So this is a quick revision for your life processes. So introduction we did today. Next chapter or next segment we are going to deal with the again one of the system. Fine. Thank you.